Welcome. I'm Jackie Payne, the founder and executive director of Galvanize Action. I'm in conversation today with the very first woman veteran governor of the United States of America. So welcome, Governor Sherrell. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. We started just speaking to everyone we could, whether it was union members, grassroots organizations, chambers of commerce, businesses, you name it. We were hunting down people to have conversations with about. I often say, if there's one thing as a mom or a dad or business owner, if there's one thing that's keeping you up at night, that it's like a problem that's going over, that hamster wheel that some of us know all too well when we're trying to fall asleep. What is it? What is it? And how can the state help fix that? And what we heard over and over again was just that New Jersey was too expensive for families.
Moderate women's top concern is always the economy. As you described, they care most about their ability to take care of their family. The majority of our 50 million women audience do not have a four-year college degree. They live in households under $100,000. And in this chart, you can see the negative impact of rising gas prices on their daily lives. So 82% say that the recent increase in gas prices has affected their spending in some way. They've had to make adjustments, and over a quarter say they have either had to cut back on essential spending, such as groceries, or that they're in financial distress. So number one is definitely the economy. They're also really concerned about corruption. 79% said that they're either somewhat or very concerned that members of the presidential administration are using their positions for personal financial gain. And about half say they're very concerned. Trump's approval is at an all-time low. He is underwater with voters generally and with moderate white women. 62% disapprove of him overall. 45% of them strongly disapprove. Moderate women are also strongly disapprove of Congress. 76% disapprove of the way Congress is handling its job. Moderate women are not happy with Democrats either. In May, 57% of moderate white women told us they disapprove of Republicans. And that same number, 57%, told us they disapprove of Democrats. So both parties are disappointing moderate women. When you look closer at this slide, what you can see is they feel the disapproval for Republicans a little bit more strongly. But the 57 to 57 number is a warning sign for Democrats that their brand continues to be in the toilet. The good news for democracy is, even though these voters are super disappointed in our leaders, that doesn't mean that they're sitting this one out. Nearly 3/4 of moderate women say they're motivated to vote in the midterms. And when we look at moderate white women, 85% say they're planning to vote. And that tracks. White women have the highest participation rate of any demographic group. So these folks are going to turn out in these midterms, and they're, a quarter or more of the vote share in these races. The question is, who are they going to vote for? The number to pay attention to on this slide is here in yellow. 22% of them say they plan to vote but are not yet sure for whom. This is the group that can tip the scales of who controls Congress. Last quarter, we talked about the narrative frame we're using this year that our audience needs to hear, and Governor Sherrell really reinforced it. Moderate white women want affordability and security, and they are fed up with chaos and corruption. We see this throughout our research and in the trends in recent elections. We shared a lot of examples of this in our last webinar, so today I'm just going to give one recent example of how we're working with content creators. We're providing them our research on our affordability narrative and what works to connect with moderate women, and then they are taking that information in and bringing it to life with their own authentic voices. So let's watch this one quick video.
If I hear another person say there's no excuse for not prioritizing your health and taking care of yourself, I'm going to lose it. Do you know the privilege it takes to say that? In this economy, Taking care of yourself as a woman with multiple health conditions costs thousands of dollars per year at minimum. I have stage 2 endometriosis, PCOS, and interstitial cystitis, and my medications cost $500 a month. I had to stop taking a medication that helps my chronic pain because it costs $900 a month with insurance. Because of inflation, my therapy now costs $2,000 more than it did the previous year. I've had to turn down treatments multiple times that would help my chronic conditions because they cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Food prices right now are insane, and that's not even including that I have to eat gluten and dairy free, and gluten and dairy free costs triple the amount that regular food does, okay? Everything costs more right now. I am a very privileged person, and I am feeling worn down by how much it costs to take care of me. Just me. When people talk about health like it's just priorities and discipline, I need them to be so serious right now. If it was as simple as that, people just wouldn't be struggling. Why don't we stop placing blame on individuals who are quite literally doing their best and start holding large corporations who profit off of our health while making it impossible to afford care accountable? It is hard to work this hard to be okay when the whole system feels like it's designed to make wealthy people even more wealthier. Health is not a luxury, or at least it shouldn't be. And struggling to afford it is not a personal failure.
Let's look at this next slide, and that shows you the kind of response that this creator gets. It was highly successful, it was super resonant, and it's just getting a fantastic response. That's not surprising, given groundbreaking new research out of Columbia University that shows that this kind of cultural content that is perceived as apolitical can be as least as effective as the political ads we've all been running for years. And our own testing shows this as well. So we took this clip and we tested it in a randomized control trial, and we found that when women watched it, they were significantly more likely to shift their vote choice, their willingness to take action, and their sense of civic agency. I'm going to move us on to transition to talk about what my separate and non-connected PAC, the One for All committee, does. So One for All uses Galvanize Action's publicly available research and messaging to develop and deploy targeted candidate ads to moderate women in these battleground districts. We've mapped out a strategy for the midterms that I'll walk you through quickly now. It's designed to have the biggest impact where One for All's unique value add is most needed. As I mentioned at the top of the call, Democrats need to net 3 seats in the House and 4 in the Senate to win control. Our strategy is determined by taking into account how competitive is the race, what's the vote share of moderate white women in that race, and whether moving a modest percentage of them would be decisive, and whether our presence there is genuinely additive or whether it would duplicate existing efforts. Here you can see our priority Senate and House races. Why are these priorities? Let's take Iowa 1 as an example. It's the top row in this chart. Iowa 1 is a district where the incumbent won her race in 24 by under 800 votes. Moderate white women are 28% of the vote share there. And One for All is looking to deliver our effective ads to about 175,000 women in that district, right? The incumbent won it by 800 2 years ago. In this rematch, we're going to send our ads to 174,600 women in this district. This group obviously has the power to determine the outcome if we can move them, and we've proven historically that our ads do move the margins. So Galvanize Action, the C4, will reinforce for voters what they deserve from their leaders and what they are not getting from the incumbent, Miller Meeks. One for All will come in with an ad to tell the voters that they can trust the Democratic challenger because she cares about folks like them and will fight for them on affordability. I want to just flag that we're seeing so much money go to candidates right now, and that is important. And if you're giving money to candidates, you need to understand that with the Democratic brand in such disarray, it is not enough to give money to candidates to let them speak for themselves. They have to be validated by groups like ours, whom voters trust. Our goal in the midterms is to engage just over 4.5 million moderate women in these key regions and to move them. Currently, we do not have the funds necessary to run the program this cycle. And this month, we are making the decisions on how many races we can develop and deploy ads in. And I want to underscore the urgency of the moment. Every cycle, we see the bulk of money flood in after Labor Day. But As a result, that means we collectively are missing a critical window of opportunity to communicate with this group of undecided voters. As you can see in this chart, in the last cycle, 72% of our audience made up their mind before Labor Day. And a significant portion, 18%, made up their mind over the summer. Our audience is crucial in these battleground races in the states that are going to make the difference about who controls Congress. They are absolutely critical, and they are making up their mind now. Please, now is the moment to help us launch these campaigns that will be decisive in the midterms. Thank you so much, everybody. Deeply appreciate you being here again today and for all the good work.